Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of Building a Harmonious Family with Nevena Bazalac. And I am super excited about my guest today. She's coming to us from Vancouver in Canada, and she's mother of 3 children, 24, 22, and 18 years old. However, when you see Helen, she looks like 35, 37 maximum, and she's a founder of Toned at 50. So she's gonna teach us today how to get motivated, how to get inspired. Of course, we're gonna talk about her parenting journey, but if you wanna hear that impossible is possible, that you can take and you should take care of your health and body and look incredible even after you're 50, you definitely need to stay and listen to Helen. So Helen, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you, Navita, for having me. I'm so happy. I wanted to share with other parents that, being a parent, what being a parent is all about, the downs and ups. I love children, and 3 was by then it was enough, but then I wish I had more. So I'm so glad that I value women who are parents. I respect anybody because as a parent, we have to go through a lot. So I'm happy to share what I know.
So Helen, we see you now. We're going to put a link, of course, so people can connect with you as well. And we're going to talk about what you're doing now. You're supporting women and men also like to exercise and stay fit and toned, and they can reach out to you no matter where they are in the world. But I wanted to ask to go back. I want to hear a little bit more about your upbringing and then how you became a parent. How was your journey? And then we started from there.
Okay. I was born in China, in a village, in a communist country like North Korea. It was, we were in a village, so we didn't have much things to eat. We didn't have clean water at all. So we drank water out of the well. So my 10 years in the village, or 11 years, was very simple. And then we were lucky we moved to Canada. So everything was up. So there were 4 of us in our family. My mom raised us basically by herself because my father was abroad in Canada. So we didn't see him for 7 years. When we came to Canada, we were very humble. So even though we were humble, we didn't have much, but my mother was very caring, is always there for us. So the value that she taught us. So, and ever since I was young, I always wanted kids. And then by 19, I found a man, a dream man, and went out for 10 years and got married. And I was lucky enough to stay home and look after my children. And then how I got started in this journey was by the time I was close to 50, my body started to change. I didn't feel fit. I didn't feel right. Everything started to go downhill. I wasn't happy with my body. And what I used to do in my 30, 40 is no longer the same. I eat the same or even less, but my body was not the way I wanted to. So being 50, I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel, even though I wasn't overweight, but it just didn't, clothes would not fit it,
Yes.
And I was like, is this the way I wanted to live? My kids are older now. They're in university. I wanted more in life. I wanted to go out and contribute. I want to be able to be independent. I depend on my husband because, he's a family man. And there were times I felt a little bit lost. Kids are older. What am I going to do the rest of my life? Why don't I challenge myself? And, when your body starts to change, you don't feel young anymore. People look at you differently. People see you old. I don't want to feel old. And because I grew up humble, we always fight for what we wanted to do. We don't ask for people to give it to us. We go after, we change it, because being in China taught me a great deal about working hard, not waiting for someone to give it to you. And I'm the second oldest, so I started to have to look after my siblings when I was 6 years old. Really hardworking cook and constantly always looking after a caregiver. So there's nobody I can depend on. So my whole life was working hard, and if you don't like something, you go change it. So I figured, you know what, I don't like my body, I'm going to do something about it. And I realized after I decided to make a change, and then before I went to go and determine I want to change my body, my family started saying, yo, it's impossible, you're 50, there's nothing you can do, and telling me that this is all you have, accept it, age is you're supposed to look like that. I said, no, I don't want to look like that. And so I said, no, and then when people tell you, oh, you have this driven to, no, I don't think I want to be giving that label. So I was very determined. And you know what? And also, if I change my body, I feel good about it, and I can actually inspire other women. Because physical image, yes, a lot of people think we focus on too much. It's not about focusing too much. I want to stay healthy for myself and for my children. As a mom, you probably know as well, when we stay healthy, look at about our parents. When my parents are healthy, I don't have to pay too much attention to them. And with my children, I don't want them to worry about me. And I remember looking at the 3 kids, I was very careful protecting myself, because if I'm not there, who's going to look after them, right? So that was my mentality when they were young. And now when I'm older, I have my children, I don't want them to worry about me. And there's so many reasons: staying healthy, fit, and give less burden to the ones that you love the most. So because my mom always worry about us, so she stay healthy, she doesn't want us to worry about her. So I want to do it to my kid the same way how I brought up. So, and have figure, I mean, I was never overweight, but I want to be better. My glutes were started to say, everything started to just not feel right in the clothes, right? So I started working out, and then my coach asked me, why don't you compete on a stage as a bikini competitor? And I said, you know, in order to inspire people, you need to do more. You can't just go to the gym and the workout. There's so many YouTube, but you wanted to achieve something impossible, not many people can attend, so you can inspire them, right? So I for the longest time, I thought it was impossible. I'd never been an athlete before. I stayed home for 20 years. And I never actually worked out in the gym, like weightlifting. I thought it was for men only. I wouldn't want to be bulky, right? And then I started working out. I started to see a little bit changes in my body. I said, oh, this is not so hard. You just have to change, a little bit of the way you eat and a little bit workout. Not as hard as I thought it was. So within 3 months, I competed on stage last year on bikini, half naked on stage. I thought, oh my goodness. And I did that. And then I was only second place. And then my coach, if you want to inspire other women, you have to become number 1. I said, wow, okay. So I competed, still didn't still didn't get first place. And I competed again. I got first place. And then within 6 months, I competed in 5 competitions all last year. And I qualified for national, the Olympia, in Las Vegas. I qualified to compete internationally. I mean, anybody can do that. But my goal was really to show my children, because nowadays children are not willing to fight for what they want. They give up. So I said, as a mom, I don't want them to not go after what they want, meaning like if you want something, doesn't matter age, doesn't matter background, doesn't matter where you come from, you can change it. So that's why I wanted to set an example for my children. It's not really for me, yes, right, a little bit, but it's more setting a good example. And when people tell me I can do something, I'm more driven. So what I've accomplished after this is anything is possible. You work hard. And there are so many women out there with so many medical disease or matters that can be prevented. And because of that, the government spends so much money in the medical industry to help them. Those money can be spent somewhere else. Imagine, right? The money a woman especially into 50 put on medication, have all the condition that literally can be prevented. When I was in China, there was nobody obese. No one, because there's not much to eat. So people, I realized in Western country, their lifestyle is killing them. And that's another reason. So there's so many reasons, but now I'm on this side feeling so great. I want to go out there and let other women, come on, just do this. You will feel amazing. Look at how much you can do with a body, a stronger body, a healthier body, mentally, emotionally, and professionally too, right? So I'm just out there, just starting with KBB, which is the beginning, and then I got the result. Then I have to learn how to speak properly, and this marketing and all those things that we have to learn, like very organically build up a brand, right? So it's been almost 2 years, Nevena. Yes.
I love your story. It's so inspiring, and that's why I was super excited to have you here today. And I think many women, there were so many takeouts from just this beginning of the session, of the episode, but I feel that many women, like you said, we just believe, oh yes, you're aging and you should, look like this. Everybody are looking like this. And I always remember the people who are running marathon, right? I cannot remember the names, but nobody ever ran 100 meters, I think, under certain number of seconds, right? So once the first person did it, the next year there was 15 other people who did it. So we believe that as we are aging, our body should look like this, we should feel bad, we should have less energy. And I feel we are projecting this to us. And like you said, when we have example like you, we have some examples. I love in entertainment world, I love Jennifer Lopez. She's, I think, similar age like you. And she's similar age like my mom. My mom is 50. My mom is now 51. And she's also a very young mom. And she looks great, but she's having some health issues, not exercising so much. And I'm like, no, this doesn't have to be this way. You can change your diet. It's just we have the habits that are ruling us, I believe, and we're like, oh, this is how it is. And we just accept the illness. We accept our body changing without, like you said, put a hard work and say, no, I'm not going to accept for this to change. But I would like for you to tell me now a little bit more about how was your parenting journey when you become a young mom, and did you had any struggles? How did you deal with those so other parents can benefit?
You mean raising the children, or like from the beginning?
Whatever you feel like sharing. I'm always excited just to let my guests share the stories they want to share.
I think every parent should have more kids. Like from where I came from, we didn't have anything, but my mom managed to have 4 of us. so many young families go, oh, we can't afford it. It's too much work. All those. But I know they'll regret it, because no parents would ever tell you that they regret having a child, but they always regret they didn't have enough. I mean,
I love it.
So because I wanted more children, but when I was taking care of them, I was very stressful, right? Because they were like 3 kids under 5. So, and that time was just more like work, didn't really enjoy them. So, and then that was the most challenging part, was the labor, no sleep. But then that was just temporary. They go fast. And as a young parent, like everything else, when we started something new, we're nervous. We wanted to make sure everything's okay. So we're very stressful. Like when my my oldest one, a year and a half, I would be constantly watching what she's doing and was so worried that she was going to fall in the toilet. Those stressful, right? So I would recommend, if any young parents with young, toddlers, would spend a little bit money, hire somebody else for like a high school student, come and take them away, babysit them for 2 hours. So to give you some time, and also have other people grandparents to send them to, so they can have more interaction with different people, because my kids were all with me, my mother-in-law with me, but she was not into with kids, right? So I would recommend young parents bring their kids and stay out with other relatives, have them interact with them, so give you so more time to enjoy, because those times within few years, running to a grocery store was like for 30 minutes was a break. But
Yes, everything seems challenged when they're very young. And I always say different age also bring different challenges. So I'm looking at parents when I work with them, when you have a newborn, everything is new, right? So you're afraid,
yeah,
you're so scared. And then usually by the time you have a second one, even if they get sick, they have fever, you already been through, if they
yeah,
fell, if they have a scratch, if anything happens, you're like, they will be fine. So we become more relaxed, right? When we have a second and the third one. But
yeah.
what is your thoughts now for your personal journey now for becoming a number one in fitness competition? You had a coach, right? So what is your thinking on parenting and having someone to support you? Did you had somebody like a professional or somebody to support you through
Yeah.
parenting? And how was it for you?
You mean in terms of if your parents, would you recommend professional coaching come in?
Yeah.
Or I definitely would. Oh yes, yes. Like I went to parenting class because I couldn't deal with my oldest one when she started about going to school, elementary school. They started to have their own mind. So when they were younger, you tell them what to do, they listen. When they started to have, argue back, and I have challenges. So instead, I went to parenting school. It was embarrassing for me because none of my parents, none of my relative did, and I make the choice, and I was laughed at. People laugh at, why do you need to go parenting school? Because kids are supposed to be born, wild and raised them. Yes, but like everything else, if you have to go through it, then you make errors and mistakes. But when you hire somebody or go get the right coaching, it makes your life easier. Like everything else, I work out. If I work out by myself, it might take me a couple of years to get where I can be within a couple months, right? So because somebody who have done it before is so much easier than have to go through the mistakes, because time is money. Time is
Yeah, and with
everything.
children, we cannot take time back. So I always tell parents,
No.
you need to take action now, because if you change now,
Yes.
if you learn how to manage the stress, if you learn how to manage, their behavior, if you get that kind of support now, then, you're going to learn how to overcome future challenges. And I love that you said this. I actually, on my webinars, always give a metaphor with going to the gym and parenting, because parents tell me, why do we need a coach, right? Why do we need support? And like you said, people laugh at you, and it's still kind of in a society embarrassing to ask for support when nobody teaches how to be parents, and your own parents tell you, oh, I just figure it out. Like, why the hell you need parenting class? So I think very important. I do this metaphor with the gym, like you said. You can figure things out, but it's going to take you years, and then you're going to go back and say, oh my God, 3 years ago I had no idea what I'm doing, I was so stressed, I wish I can go back and just enjoy those moments, right? And when you go to the gym as well, you can figure it out. You're going around, you're pushing, you're pulling things, and I did this for 2 years. I didn't get any results from the gym until I had a coach to really use the system. They have the system, they know what's working, and then they adjust it for your body type, right? It is what you did with your coach. So it's the same with parenting. I always tell parents, there is a reason why when somebody gives you an advice, and also somebody looking things, I think, from different perspective, because for you, when you don't have sleep, when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, you feel like, oh my God, this is a huge problem. And then for someone, let's say me, I work with so many families, and I worked with really challenging families when I was working back in orphanage with social services. I know that the
Mhm.
problems they don't have are not big, and we learn also. We met through Tony Robbins, right, and his
Mm.
seminars. So we learn from our mentors how to help people switch and how to help people get results in a short period of time, like you said. So this is priceless. Thank you so much for sharing. So what is your advice for moms? I hear a lot of excuses. They don't have time for themselves. I know it's just an
Mm.
excuse, and I always tell them you need. So when they work with me, first thing they have to do, they have to have me time. And I truly believe
Mm.
in physical exercise, in diet, in healthy eating, because it will empower you mentally. It will give you peace. You will feel better. Then you can give to your children. So what is your advice when they're saying they don't have time, they don't have money,
Mm.
maybe all those excuses we have to not to exercise and not to like, I cannot exercise, I have a baby. So what is your advice?
Okay. So when it comes to exercise and I use cleaning up my house. I run around a lot looking after 3 kids under 5. So I'm constantly um, in and out. So I didn't really have to go to the gym to get back into shape. I gained 55 pounds because I'm always moving, always cooking. So and that was part of my exercise. But if the women who are not happy with their body and they need to lose weight, there's always they can spend time. What are they doing that's gaining the weight, right? They do think back how much how are they eating too much? Are they not moving as much? Those with kids, so easy. You can take them. You can do multitask. You can take them out, take your kids out. You can teach them how to bicycle. So many things, right? So when it comes to uh, losing weight when I was younger, I didn't have an issue because um, you can just cut down. But building muscle now at age 50 is harder. Losing the weight, you just restrict calories and your body basically maybe still the same. But if the parents have to go outside to exercise, to release, to be self-care, that's important too, if they need that. But I was so occupied with my kids. And I so I didn't really have used that the exercise. But however, I I hang out with my mother-in-law occasionally. They play certain games. That was my relaxation time away from my kids a little bit. And I'm not sure if I answered your question properly.
No, I agree with you because we usually separate things. So when we say let's
Right.
have a quality time with our children, for example, we think, oh, I need
Mm,
to find 1 hour with my children to play. I'm
mm,
like, no, you can pull out the dishes from the dishwasher. You can teach them how to cook. They can participate. They can stand
yeah.
next to you.
Oh,
So you're gonna build a
right.
relationship. You're gonna teach them. They love household activities, and also for
Yes.
exercising, play music and dance together. Children love exercising. They love things. Put them on a
Mm,
bike or put a skate on your feet and just skate and push your baby in the pram.
yes.
So there is so
Yes.
many ways if you want to do it, but I do believe we are ruled by our habits, and because we learned this from our mentor Tony Robbins, right? We want to avoid pain, and usually exercising seems like a pain, not a pleasure.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I think in our brain we're avoiding it. So I think we need to make it a
Mm,
fun activity. Maybe start with something small, like go for a bike ride. If your children are driving bike, just go for a bike ride and then say,
yes. Yes.
let's make a challenge. And today 1 mile, tomorrow 2 miles, third day 3 miles, and then by day 10 you're gonna be biking 10 miles. And it's gonna
Mm,
be fun. It's gonna be family engaging, healthy for children, healthy for you. And what I always like to tell parents, you are the role model. So if you really
yes.
want your
Yes.
children to
Yes.
exercise,
Yes.
be
Yeah.
healthy like you are, Helen,
Mm,
they need to see you
mm.
doing. They're gonna be inspired by seeing you doing, and they're gonna actually imitate what you're doing, not what you're saying.
No, no, you are so right, Navita. What I'm doing right now, I always make sure that I stay healthy and fit to set an example for my children. That's one of the reasons. So because I set an example. I don't have to push them. I don't have to tell them not to eat junk food. I don't have to tell them to go exercise, because when it's kind of embarrassing, very sensitive to tell your children go exercise. It's really hurtful, right? You don't know what your children are thinking. So instead of telling them what to do, I'll set a good example. I eat healthy. I go exercise, and then because I won some competition, my eldest, my 18 years old son and daughter first time asked me to join them to go to the gym. Oh my goodness. They asked me. It's like, I mean, never thought that teenager want to hang out with their mom, right? And first
That's
time,
so cool.
yeah,
You're such a cool
I
mom.
know. Like my son, who doesn't even talk to me that much, do you want to go to the gym with me? I say, wow. And now he's practicing handstand. He actually asked for my help more than my husband. So whatever you do, you're good at, you will attract them. You don't have to tell them. So being a parent, we have to play our role. We have to play being a responsible individual. If you want your kid to do something, if you're not doing it, it will be difficult. So,
Absolutely.
and being a parent is at this stage, because they they grow up and they will leave your home. So you will do as much as you can. I always tell my husband, right now, we want to invest in our children as much as we can before they become an adult, 21, because when they start 21, they will leave and they will have their own family. They will have their own friends. Even if you wanted to spend money in them to put them into piano lessons or any kind of activity, they won't be there. So invest all you have when they're younger, when you still can, because later on it's too late and they don't even want your support anymore, because they go, that's not what I want to do. So I always tell my husband, let's invest in them so they become smarter. When they're smarter, they will not be coming back for us when they're older, because they will be looking after themselves. Imagine there's so many unfortunate children on the street, and I feel bad for them, because it's probably not their fault. It's probably the environment, right? So yeah, I actually volunteer in a youth center before, and I know what's like, and where I came from, being humble, and I want to just make sure other, like what you do in Nevena is just amazing. I want you to have a book, a best parenting book, so other parents can use and to share with other, with other parents, or learn the skills. Everything is a learned thing. Being a parent is skill. Being a lawyer is skill. But people don't realize being a parent is not natural. You have to have skills, right?
I love this.
And
So
what you
being a
do
parent
it.
is not natural, so you have to learn the skills. I love it. Thank you for that.
No, because why are there's what you if you ever interview parents whose kids are doing so well, because they invest so much time and money into it. No kids are born amazing. It's a lot of hard work put into it. Like my child, one of my youngest, he's into hockey for 10 years. I would get up 5 o'clock to take him to hockey and drive for hours, right? And for years, been a parent driving everywhere, and now they're older, young adults in university or working, so I have time for myself at 52, and I put my time into raising them. I told myself, put them into university, as at least I've done my job. And if they, however they become, I mean, I can only influence them, but I can't really tell them what to do anymore, right?
I love it. I love it, Helen. So tell us for the end, what is that you do at the moment, and how some mothers and maybe even fathers listening can join, because you just told me you're doing a lot of things online, a lot of Facebook challenges. So, there is no excuses. There is a lot of things for free they can also do. They can follow you. So where they can find you, how they can find you, how they can join your online classes, your online courses.
Okay, for me right now, for me, it's just basically want to inspire women in the 50 to look after themselves, so they will be happier. If they're happier, they'll be happier with the children, and they'll be happier with their family. So my Facebook right now, starting, I have a couple of Facebook group. Toned at 50 community and Toned at 50 abs and glutes. And also you can also check my Facebook profile, Helen Fong. And I didn't post a lot of the stuff. I'm still kind of shy because I'm only out in the social media a couple of years and then starting to be a little bit comfortable because it is social media. I'm still kind of shy to post my family. So basically just me, right? I want to leave my family a little bit private. So if women in the 50s wanted to learn a few simple techniques, but powerful ways that they can change their body after perhaps gaining the weight from being pregnant. I can show them what I have learned over last year joining the 5 competitions, what I have to do to stay lean, to build muscle, to have the body, looking like I'm 30 years old. I can show them that, and
I love it.
I love.
I just turned 30 and I definitely want to join your group. I do exercise. I'm constantly looking to improve my diet. I'm actually just finishing a 9-day detox for the liver and I feel amazing. So I know how much impact food and changing diet and exercise left on me mentally and emotionally, more than just physically. I think we truly need to invest in this as well.
It is like Tony Robbins said, right? For any successful recipe, you have to have the right ingredient inside, and also the sequence, the order, the quality. A lot of women work out, but they still don't get the hourglass figure. Maybe there's something is missing. Maybe the order of the sequence, for example, when to take a protein powder, when to eat fruits. Throughout the day makes a difference. If you eat a lot of fruits before you go to bed, it's all sugar, right? So those timings are very important. And how much protein to take. And this age, we women loses muscle. And what do? You can't do what you used to do when you're 30 and 40. But the good thing is, it's not hard to have the body. For every moment, women think it's impossible. I have done it and I'm so excited. I wanted to bring women, come, I'll show you how to do it. You'll be so much happier. You look so sexy in your bikini and your tight jeans and look amazing beside your husband or spouse, right? It's not difficult. That's the beauty part of it. And it's possible to build muscles, to have muscles that I never had when I was 30 years old, and now I have good. So.
Wow, thank you, Helen, so much. So we're going to definitely all go and join Helen Toned and 50 community on Facebook. We're going to put links in the description of this video, and just go to Helen Fong on Facebook. You can connect with Helen and meet her. She's such an inspiring and beautiful inside and out woman. So thank you for listening to this episode, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one.